Hello and welcome back to Stack Cash. And this is the official third Stack Cash AMA. I am Muddy Mo, a board member for Stack Cash. And we also have Vin on, another board member for Stack Cash. What's going on, Vin?
Hey, what's going on, Mo? How are you doing, buddy? How's everybody doing out there in Stack Nation?
Very good. All is well, Vin. All is well. Um, you know,
Awesome, awesome.
I Very good. Yeah, I feel like we're at a great point in Stack Cash where I'm very, very excited. Just very excited to bring the world, what we have to offer here. Um,
Yep.
Today we got some great things in store for you guys, and I know I'm gonna let Vin come in and kind of talk for a moment. But we have some great things in store, and we also have some great people behind the scenes that's really working hard every day of the week to get this layer 2 project out to the world. So we're just really
Absolutely.
appreciative of you guys and happy to have you. All right. All
Yeah, a
right.
lot of
We
good
are
stuff.
not. Yep.
Yep.
Go ahead, man.
I don't know. I was just saying what you were just saying, reiterating. There's always something going on in the background, 24 hours a day over here. I check in on the Discord every once in a while, and I see you're in there, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Somebody's always in there doing something.
That's it, man. That's it. It's no days off with Stack Cash. And,
That's right.
one thing I do want to assure um, the people is that, we're really, like Vin said, this is day in, day out, like every day. Like we're doing
Yep.
this even at 3 or 4 in the morning. We're here trying to put out this layer 2 to really, better the world. So we're just excited about it.
Yep.
As always, that's some house cleaning. Please, that always understand you guys have the chat. We are right now going live through Twitter and through YouTube. So please feel free to come in and ask some questions. Even if you just have a comment or you have something that you want to say about Stack Cash, more than welcome. This is the place to do it. Also, we have a board member that's already in the chat. We have Peachy. What's going on, Peachy? He said, "Hello, guys. Doing great. Okay, Peachy.
What's
Great,
up,
great,
PT?
great. Love it,
See ya,
love it,
buddy.
man."
Yeah.
PG says, "Hey, Muddy. Hey, Vin. What's going on, man? We're happy to have you." And as always, one thing about Stack Cash, as a, a ecosystem and a project, one thing about us is that we're community based. So we root for our community members, and we root for our committee members and our board members. And through these NTTs, we offer a unique opportunity for everybody to be an owner. You know, then I don't know if you have, but some people get into stocks and they say, "Hey, I wish I could have gotten a ground floor at Apple, or I wish I could have gotten a ground floor at Amazon." You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
this is the opportunity in DeFi in the decentralized world to really change some things. So we're
Yep.
just excited. We're just excited. All right. So now, so today, if you guys would, and I'll go through and check this in just a moment and show you all. But this week we released part 5 of All About Stack Cash. If you want to know what's going on, if you want to know how the hot dog is made, if you want to know what's going on under the hood, our white paper has all those details. However, we have it right now in video form. So in All About Stack Cash, and what we'll kind of touch on today is the cash token in our cash staking smart contract, which is called Cachet. And now some people
Cash.
like, what? Go ahead, man.
No, no, I love it. Cachet, man, it's great. There's a meaning behind that too, I believe, isn't there?
It
Prestige
is.
or
It is.
something.
You gotta have a little cachet in your life.
That's
but
right.
also, one thing of note is that we're fully democratic and we're a DAO. So that was voted on. We voted on everything that you see, all these names, and even somebody said, "Hey, I love the name Cash, Stack Cash, and how you guys you have the meaning behind it." That was voted on as
Yep,
well. The colors, the logo, everything. So, but yeah, we'll
absolutely.
talk about Cachet. And we'll also talk about Cash Box. And Cash Box is essentially our version of a CD contract or certificate of deposit contract. Now, let's let's kind of take a step back before we even jump there. All of us are used to traditional banking, right? So we're used to having a checking account, a savings account. And even if you want to go beyond that, a lot of people have, certificate of deposits in a bank or a bond. So we have that. However, we have it in DeFi form. And what I'm just excited about is that we found a way to make it way more sustainable. So that's just it's something that's phenomenal that can set you, your family, your kids, whatever, all of that up for the long term. So we're excited to talk about that.
Yep.
All right, let's see. We got Ricky Yo, another board member said, "Hey guys, listening in. Happy to have you, Ricky Yo. You guys keep those comments coming. Again, we'll always address the comments. We'll always address the crowd. So we love to have all you guys come and just get accustomed to hearing from us. I know, one thing is, we have board chats and we also have committee chats and a general dial as well. But in our board, in our committee chats, I always, try to stay upbeat and, try to talk about, the greatness of what this is and how exciting it is, a time it is in DeFi, let alone layer two. So
Yeah.
just good things to come, guys.
I'll tell you, I've been looking around in the DeFi space, and it's pretty grim right now. There's a couple little things here and there that are kind of working, but man, I'm looking to bring back the excitement into this DeFi space for everybody. I can't wait.
Now, Vin, tell me before we get into it, a lot of people don't understand we're DeFi veterans, so we've been around this space. Tell me a little bit about some of the projects that you were excited about before and why you were excited about them. I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Well, I mean, going back, well, obviously we got Hex, and that's just it is what it is. There, Ricky.
Ricky.
So yeah, you got that, and I guess a lot of people, I hear a lot of people talking about they started getting in when Drip started coming in, and Drip did its thing for a while. It's still doing its thing actually, and but the problem with that was, if you didn't get in it early at the bottom floor, and I hear a lot of people that get in at like $120, $180, and man, that hurts. You know what I'm saying? So then you go from Drip, and then you get into Elephant Money, which I thought was going to be, pretty reliable, and it actually was. It was doing its thing, and it's just hanging on right now. But it just needs more volume, more capital, and hopefully maybe it'll come back because I am invested in that. And I want everything in the DeFi space to work. It's for the community. You know what I'm saying? So I don't wish any ill will on anybody's project. But so jumping from there, then you get into Furio, Arc. So yeah, I mean, I bounced around in a few of these projects right now, but they're just hanging around right now, and they're just not working. And when I first heard about Stack Cash and I was invited into this, and I took a look at the mechanics and the tokenomics and the treasury system, and I was like, wow, man, this is different. Like, this could be great. I mean, it's going to be great, I think. And yeah, so I've been around, like you said, and here I am. So I'm hoping this is going to excite everybody when it comes out. So that's about it. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. I love it, Vin. And you know what I took from it? We all have a story. And a lot of you guys know Muddy Mo and my story. Go check out my channel if you want to hear more of my story. But mine is similar to Vin's. There's other projects that we've been a part of in the space and experience, the good and the bad. And what's great about Stack Cash is that we're a melting pot of all of that, right? So we've taken out some of the things that's not so great, and we've added all the things that's great about the projects that's already been around.
Yep.
So like Vince said, there's no ill will towards any other project.
Nope.
However, it makes us even more excited about this project because a lot of people don't get an opportunity to, have a vote or have a say. So
Right.
that's one great thing that's great about us. You have a say here, and the biggest thing is that nobody has to be too late, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you
Yep.
you can be in, and then not only just that, we have open arms to anybody that wants to be a part of it. So
Yep.
great stuff, man. Love that story, man.
We can go all the way back to BitConnect. I mean, yeah, so I'm getting old and gray here.
Now that's where I started in the space as well as with BitConnect. Yeah, so that's way back, but yeah, so going through those, some were good and some were not so good. But all of that is built the story of how Stack Cash came about. So we're excited to talk about it today. Great story, man.
Yep.
Let's see, Ricky O says, can you explain how cash stays pegged to the dollar or cash stays pegged to USD? Yeah, Ricky. Also, thank you for saying that. Thank you for bringing that comment up. We would definitely explain how cash stays pegged. A lot of people, have seen stable coins and around the space, um, lose peg, and some of them haven't even been able to regain that. So one thing is, we've always said on the Stack Cash board is, we want to measure 3 times and cut once. So
Yep.
we're definitely in the measuring and we're in the cutting phase as well. But the main thing is, we'll definitely talk through how we can keep cash, or how cash stays pegged. And I'm glad you said that, Ricky O, because we have some additional factors within our ecosystem that can really add to helping cash stay pegged. So great question. We definitely addressed that. Awesome.
Yep.
Good stuff. All right. So let me get the link tree up really quick, guys. All right. And I'm feeling great today, guys. It, there's newer projects and meme coins and other things that's in the space. But then when you look back around, Stack Cash, a lot of people said, "Hey, we're waiting on Stack Cash. We're wanting to Stack Cash." Well, that's great, but we want you to be a part of it now because,
Right.
come on, I always say, you have to be with me when I'm shooting in the gym, and
Right.
what that means is, don't you can come and get in when the NBA's, I'm in the NBA, but come practice with me. Come learn this thing from the inside.
NBA.
Exactly. All right, let's see. So as always, I kind of want to go to the base of where we are. And also, please guys, one thing I do have for you guys today is we have some alpha. So I told you guys we're working hard. So we have some new alpha on Stack Cash that you guys should be excited for. That we'll talk through in just a moment. But for now, here is our link tree. Right now, feel free to come to the link tree and check some things out. You see at the very top, we've added a link here, and that link is live, but it's not. We're not promoting it just yet, but it is live just to let you guys know it's available here.
Yep.
But also, we have all of our other information. We have our HBoard NTT pre-sale, to be an early adopter and owner. We also have our light paper and all of our Stack Cash videos and even our AMAs, which today's will be added here too. So come check us out there. And also we have our Twitter. So our Twitter is going to be the best place if you want to come and stay involved and kind of know what's going on. Come check
Hmm.
us out on Twitter. Our Twitter is, popping. Thank you to Tina, one of our board members. She makes sure this Twitter is active, and we appreciate her for that. But feel free to come and check us out and kind of see what we got going on. You want to be in the in crowd. When
Yep.
I was in school, it was always multiple crowds, and it
Yeah.
is what it is. But the in crowd was always the crowd that was willing to, come together and be ahead of things, right? Start new trends. So that's what we're doing here with Stack Cash.
Yeah.
Now, Vin, cut me off if I'm talking too much. You know how I do. I'll continue talking, but
Yeah. That's all good. You get to that nice rhythm and, just reiterating on top of what you're saying and the guys chipping in over here on the comments. So I just want to say, like, too, make sure you always check the pinned messages when you come visit us in our telegrams there or Discord because could be something exciting in there you might miss. So just a heads up on that.
thank you for saying that, Vin. At the
Yep.
very top is the link tree. Now, the link tree is also in the description of this video. And while you're at it, please feel free to hit that like and go follow us on all of our social medias. You want to stay ahead of things. But one of the most active places to catch us is our Discord and our Telegram, which is right here at the very top of the link tree. Just come through and say hello and ask away.
Talk
All
about
right.
anything. Yeah, you can bring up any kind of subject. We love to just chat, have fun too.
Exactly. Precisely. Thanks for saying that, Vin. Exactly. Also, while I'm here, we do have our light paper. And again, I told you guys we have some alpha coming a little bit later today, so stay tuned for that. But we have our light paper that if you want to know the general gist of Stack Cash, it's easy. All of it's outlined right here in our light paper. So, again, the stack, the cash, the NTTs, which is protocol ownership, all that great stuff. And, we've had some people that's telling family and friends about Stack Cash is getting very, very excited because they know we're getting closer to that time.
Yep.
So we even have a how to participate in Stack Cash, 4 simple points here. So please feel free to come check that out if you get a chance.
Yeah, and I was touching on that with you the other day, Mo. That I was talking about my nephew, and he's starting to dabble in like the stock market and whatnot, and he's not really familiar with the DeFi space, and I was kind of trying to explain it to him, and I said, you know what, really, it's a good time right now to stop following us on Stack Cash and see what it's about, and it's totally different, and it takes some time to learn. I said, but keep your head in the game, you pay attention, you come up, you understand it. So, and I'm learning him. So just things like that, just bringing up conversation around a coffee table with people, and you never know where it can go.
I love that, Vin. I love that, and I think that's one of the things that Stack Cash, that over time people will start seeing. That's something that's going to be significant for what we do is
Yep.
bringing one person on at a time. You
Right.
said your nephew.
Yep.
I have family members I've talked to about it,
Yep.
and they're eager for something. Right? We
Right.
have banks failing. We have
Man.
a broader crypto space that is talking about things that newer people, are not necessarily aware of how, meme coins and other things, they don't know all the insides and outs. They just know what they hear.
Right.
So, word of mouth is one of the best ways to get anything out. So
Yep.
thanks for saying that, Ben. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
And I,
And we're
and
talking
I,
about
and,
the Fed, raising it, what, another quarter? I think they raised the interest rate.
oh yeah.
I
it,
mean, it's just fire,
yep.
you're just adding fuel to the fire here. So,
Exactly, man. And you know what's crazy? That's why we're here. Is this is an opportunity to have a break from traditional finance to
right.
really kind of dive in and be able to basically do banking on your own terms. You
Right.
know, us in the DeFi space, we kind of get caught in the sauce, so to speak,
Yep.
of our projects and moonshot coins and all that different stuff.
Right.
Well, what this is it's a mixture of Stack Cash is a mixture of the the price appreciation, which the Stack token, which we've discussed at nauseum, but you guys know the Stack token has the opportunity with our natural, supply shock. It has an opportunity to just be phenomenal. So
Yep.
this is a big break from that. And
Right.
the main thing is letting people know that we exist. So
Exactly.
that's awesome, man.
Yep.
All right. So on the screen here now, you all can go find this in our last YouTube again, all about Stack Cash. I think it was part 5.
Yep.
So today we'll kind of talk about our cash token, and for all those who might not be aware, the cash token is our utility coin. And in other words, some people say, "Hey, isn't that a stable coin?" Yes. So we had Ricky O who just asked a question about that being stable. We'll discuss that a little bit. But the main thing is, it is a stable coin, and it's built to stay stable at 1-to-1 with USD. So just to kind of cover the basics of the cash utility coin, it's native to our Stack Cash ecosystem. So, if you want to find, cash token, you got to come to the Stack Cash ecosystem. And one great thing is we'll have our own Stack Cash decentralized exchange, or we have our own DEX. So you'll be able to swap on our site as well as using Pancake Swap for convenience. So we'll have both of those offered. And for safety of the project and many other reasons, we'll have both available to you. So that's one great thing.
Yep.
So our cash token has multiple functions. Let's see if it comes up. Here we go. Okay. So again, what we've done is we've taken this medium of exchange, this cash token, and we've added some different use cases to it to make it phenomenal. So it's native to our system, and we have smart contracts that's tied into it. So the two you all have heard about is Cachet, which we'll cover a little bit today, and also Cashbox. Oh, and also while I'm talking, please feel free to hit the like,
Hit the like.
and exactly, and stay tuned because we have some alpha coming that you guys are going to want to hear about. Um, so anyhow, so we have these smart contracts that allow you to be able to use the cash token, the utility coin, to be able to use it and actually make more gains from it, right? So a lot of times I don't know about you, Vin, but a lot of times, for myself in DeFi, like I am a DeFi fanatic, right? So I
Yep.
love this space. And the one thing is, I kind of get bored sometimes. Like, I have some contracts that I like, or I have liked, and one of the major issues is that I'm like, that's it. Okay, I compounded today.
Right.
I'm done. Right.
Yep. Yep.
Well, you know, the party never stops over here with with Cash Token. So we have these smart contracts, and again, this is from DeFi users, but we have these smart contracts that are very similar to things that in traditional finance and in the real world. However, we've created, an opportunity for you to use that in DeFi on your own terms and make your own gains. You don't have to wait for a banker. I don't know if, some people went to a bank and said, "Hey, I need 50,000, 20,000, whatever out." And they go and call a manager and have you sit down and wait hours and all that different stuff.
Yep.
Well, in DeFi and in Stack Cash, you have the opportunity to do that on your own terms. So that's what makes us significant. Really, some life changing and world changing stuff.
Yeah,
So
I don't go into banks much. I mean, let me tell you, I only go in there if I have to like make a big deposit or something like that. But I'll tell you what, I, I don't even.
yeah,
I
and
have
it's a
no
hassle,
urge.
man. Exactly,
Yep.
it's the hustle and bustle. Like, it's just always a
Right.
hassle.
Yep. Yep.
You It seems like you have to fight for your own money.
Right. Right. They take it right away though.
Exactly. Oh, they take it quick, right? In seconds,
Yeah,
they
and
can
we'll give you one
deposit it.
percent on that by next year. So, oh, thank you so much.
Yep, yeah. And I've heard somebody say, if it's not your bank, not your money. So,
Yeah.
this is what Stack Cash offers: just an opportunity for you to do banking on your own terms in
Right.
simple terms. All right. Sorry, my screen's acting a little funny, guys. So yeah, so these are just some clips from the last video. And we'll just go through it. So yeah, so we were talking about the cash token in the smart contracts. It's a utility token. And again, we have the smart contracts that allow you to do basically traditional banking on your own terms. Whenever you wake up, whenever you go to sleep, you can do this on your own.
Yep.
All right, so let's get back to it. There we go. Sorry, my video is just catching back up, guys. So another thing that's kind of connected with the stack, the cash token is, it's connected to our stack token. So one thing that's specific to, our ecosystem and how we're doing things is, essentially, you know, we're connected in a way. We have our stack token, which we've, you know, very excited about. It's, going to be less and less available over time, right?
Yep.
However, we have a cutting edge way of doing yield. So if you don't know, in most projects, yield is generated through basically buys and sales on different swaps, essentially. So, what we've done is we've created the system, whereas we have something called over collateralization, which is cutting edge to the world, right? And what it does, it takes from our stack tokens tokenomics, it takes gains from itself and it pays off the cash side. So, with the question about, how does cash stay stable? Well, one of the ways, the primary way it stays stable is that it feeds itself from the stack side. So the stack token, again, it's going to be less and less of stack in circulation.
Yep.
As that amount lessens, there's going to be more and more value added to the cash side, dollar value. So that's
Right.
that's awesome. Um,
Yep.
Now, again, we talked options before. We talk about the participants can do anything that they want. So you can stake, you can bond, and one thing you can't do in the bank is easy is compound. Compound interest. Those who understand it, make it, and those who don't, pay it. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody is, as a participant and a user in Stack Cash, you can earn and compound, and that's what's phenomenal. And last but not least, another smart contract we have is Sweepstack, which allows you to win cash tokens, not just cash, but you can also win BNB, a blue chip
Whew,
token, directly in your wallet. How you feel about BNB,
whew,
man?
how I feel about B&B. Oh, who doesn't feel good about B&B?
Right, on my list you got Bitcoin obviously at the very top
Right,
of,
right,
of,
right.
of blue chips, right? And then you got, to me honest, close second is BNB to me, right? And
I think
we use
so.
the yeah, we use the Binance Smart Chain, and the Binance Smart Chain has been affordable. There's people on the Binance Smart Chain, and there's also liquidity. So
Right.
it's just a win-win. So yeah, so that's sweep stack. Now, one thing that makes stack cash significant, and a lot of people would really want to need to understand this, is that we're liquidity backed. And what I mean by that is liquidity is key to any contract, not just in the DeFi space or the crypto space, but
Hmm.
also in the real world. If you don't have liquidity, we've seen bank runs go bad, right? So if you
Yep.
don't have liquidity, you're going to be in trouble, at some point
Right.
or another.
Yep.
So what our project is built to do, what the stack token is built to do, is to grow liquidity. Now we'll go through some of the facets of the cash token that helps that liquidity grow. But the main thing is our liquidity floor is going to continue to rise.
Okay.
So all that's saying is if you want to cash out, it's available to you to cash out. Again, this is like a bank. We don't want to hold you up at the door, call the manager, right? So if you want to cash out, we know people have bills, people have lives, and people are in DeFi to actually be able to receive some gains. So that's what that does. Our liquidity is going to be one of the main facets that people are going to look at and say, "Wow, you guys have a great amount of cash liquidity over there."
Yep.
Pun intended. That I can always come in and feel free to withdraw when I need to.
Right. Right.
All
And
right.
then these other projects too. That maybe they got a decent amount of liquidity and everything, but there could be say a dozen whales that are holding that liquidity, and then you go to bed, you wake up, what happens the next day? Oh, they dumped. So you know what I mean.
Exactly.
You don't want to
Exactly.
be in that predicament.
Vin, thank you for saying that because I think that's important as well.
Yep.
You know, in our day and age, being DeFi veterans, we've seen, pumping what we call pump and dump coins,
Yep.
which is coins that will go very, very high in price. And then you have a small few who own it all, right? And they'll sell it on everyone else. And that just leaves everybody else with a lower token of value.
Yep.
So the cash liquidity that we have is meant to negate that. And it's meant to basically make the project here for you and I, and that's important. People want to feel safe, and with Stack Cash, that's what it's built to do. Provide some kind of security in liquidity, so you understand. Hey, even if Joe Smo at the top here sold some, this project is still growing and it still has liquidity.
Yep.
Great point, man.
Yep.
Another thing about the cash token, which is awesome. Now, again, we said 1-to-1 with USD, right? So it can be a trusted medium of exchange, right? um the dollar, or even the euro, wherever you are, that medium of exchange is only a medium of exchange because people accept it as that, right? If you
Yep.
went to the gas station, they said we don't no longer accept dollars, right? You have to find another medium of exchange to get your gas or whatever you want.
Right.
So with the cash token, one thing long term, and this is why we say this is a great, option to move away to have some freedom in the DeFi world, is because the cash token being stabilized as a utility coin is a medium of exchange.
Hmm.
Another the cash functions also benefit stack holders. Again, going back, we'll talk about Cashbox shortly, but one thing that's awesome is that this thing goes back and forth. We actually continuously build the stack liquidity, and on the other side, you'll see how we build cash liquidity. Again, people, I've heard this saying all the time. Cash is king. Cash is king. Yeah, well, in DeFi, liquidity is king. So
Yep.
that's kind of where we stand with that. All right. So let's talk about if you want to talk about freedom, Vin, this is it. Cachet. So Cachet
Yep.
um, is our staking, basically our staking smart contract, and this is a single asset pool. So a lot of times people are used to providing liquidity to get some gains, some small gains. And I will tell you, being a part of DeFi for so long, and even adding liquidity, and even doing single staking pools, one thing is that you rarely find a consistent APR. So
Mhm.
going back to our cutting edge over collateralization way of paying yield, yo, the Cachet smart contract allows users to make 75% APR.
Yep.
And I don't know if you don't know banking, if you don't know, how much that is significant.
Yep.
So that's something that we love to offer to anyone. And this is based, and I'll go through some of the points of it, but this is on an individual basis, right?
Yep.
So everybody gets to own on their own accord with Cachet. So
That's right. And it costs you nothing to go in or come out.
exactly. And again, it's sorry guys, and then again, it's 100% user custody. So this belongs to the people.
Yep.
Belongs to you and me. Um, there's just it's nobody. You can do this when everybody else is sleeping, right?
Yep.
You got
Yep.
your mates to sleep or whomever. You can do this on your own accord, and I think people really like that. Another thing about Cachet is it's no fees on it. So, in some other portions of the Stack Cash ecosystem, we have a couple fees to make sure that we can maintain the project, right? To make sure that we have liquidity, and also make sure that you can always come in and withdraw your funds. One thing about Cachet that's awesome is that there's zero fees, so you can just earn whenever you want to earn, and you can withdraw whenever you want to withdraw.
Yep.
That's
And I get
significant.
and I get
Good.
some plans for that myself. Um, I'm gonna put some into that, and what I earn on that, I'm gonna go ahead and take that and put into the sweepstakes. And because I earned that, just letting it sit in there, I have a chance to win that sweepstakes with just money I earned doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about that part of it too. You get into that raffle easily with what you earn on that.
Exactly, man. And we're gonna talk about Cashbox. It's just, the thing that I love is options, right?
Yep.
I've had family members who they don't have many options, right? Like they
Right.
at
Right.
all, like financially, they have to, you know, go and put hours in, and live a basically kind of a hard life in
Yep.
order to make ends meet. Well, we're changing that, and not just that, on the lower end, Cachet and our cash token helps that, but even on the higher end, this is we talked about whales. Whales are also welcome here. Whales want to make gains too.
Yep.
However, here we allow it to happen safely, and we allow it to basically help the protocol and not hurt the protocol.
Yep.
Good stuff, man. And I might have to switch this up because my screen is just out of control now. It's in present mode, so it's kind of got a mind of its own. So
Yep.
bear with me, guys. Let me get this together here because I want to make sure you guys can see this clearly. Sorry about that.
Technology.
Right, you gotta love it, right, man? Gotta
Yep.
love it. All right, let's
That's
see.
all this artificial intelligence stuff. But who's gonna fix the problems, right? Can they fix themselves?
Exactly.
They can't. Can they hit the power button? I don't know. Can they reboot themselves? Maybe they can reboot themselves.
Right.
You know.
But you know what, Vin? We're taking technology with Stack Cash and we're
Yep.
making it into something that's going to be beneficial to people. And that's what I
Exactly.
love about it because
Yeah.
it's so hard sometimes. I
Yep.
have family members that say, "Hey, I don't forget that technology stuff." But, but with Stack Cash, we're making it cool for all generations, older and younger, to want to use technology to make gains.
Yep.
All right, let's go here. Okay,
Uh,
this should be better, guys. There we go. Okay, it might be a little off, but hopefully you guys can see that. But I'll kind of talk through it here. So yes, so getting back to Cachet, there's no restrictions on you and no fees. Also, we talked about being withdrawable any time. One thing we've seen, there's been some other really good projects in the space, right? But they all require you to time lock, right? Oh well, in years or in months you'll be able to gain this, and that's all pregnant on, how much time you have to spend. One thing I always tell, my family and my kids is that time is the most valuable asset. We can't
Yep.
afford to waste it. Cachet allows you not to need to time lock your cash tokens. So you can deposit your cash and there's no time frames on when you can earn. You start earning rewards immediately. And
Yep.
that's just something that's extremely different.
Yep.
um and last but not least, on some of the details, the one thing about Cash that's awesome is that you can compound it, right? It's one thing to make gains, right? In traditional staking, you can make gains, which is awesome. However, especially we've seen, things like on the Ethereum blockchain, the first DApp, right? Their first DApp blockchain, we've seen just astronomical fees that's just unaffordable, and it
Yep.
just makes it hard to use, right?
Right.
We have affordable fees on the Binance Smart Chain, but not only just that, with our Cachet, these gains are compoundable.
Yep.
If you made $100 last week, you can compound that and make $120 this week, and
Yep.
that's something that's very phenomenal about Cachet. One thing that people love to hear, because we're dealing with code here, and we're dealing with software. So in dealing with software, it's really good to know that the code is going to do the work for you. With Cachet, it's an immutable contract. And all that
Yep.
simply means is, once it's available, it's just available to you. It won't change. So it'll always be there for you. And you can always come in and get cash tokens as you need them. And we talked about banking earlier, just like a checking and savings account. This allows you freedom to move and get your funds at no fee. I
Yep.
remember nights, we'll go out to a bar or a club, and I'll try to withdraw some money out of an ATM. And I was always charged $5, $10, whatever it was, to get my own money,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
Cachet says no, none of that. Go ahead, Vic. Go ahead.
No, no, I know. Unless you have one of those astronomical, cards where you earn on it, they don't charge you, but you got to pay for that, so it's not free. But yeah, I hear you, man. Paying those fees, they add up in a year.
They add up, don't they, man? Oh
Yep.
my goodness.
Yeah, they
Well,
do.
with Cachet, you don't have to pay to get your own money. It's free to get your own money. And again,
Yep.
we have those high APRs. And also, some people come into contract says, "Hey, I know you guys have a great team portion of this. I know you have additional ways for me to earn. However, I want to do something that is based on my own merit." Well, the entire Stack Cash ecosystem is based on participation.
Right.
So you're gonna earn from some team wallet no matter what, even if you don't care to. But
Yep.
one thing that's awesome about Cachet is that it's an individual game, so it's individually for you to use again to get gains when you like, or get your funds off when you like, and it's just
Yep.
low risk.
Right.
People always want to assess the risk first.
Yep.
And we'll talk more about the cash token being stable, but it's just low risk, and you can come in and make gains on your own accord. So
One thing I like to do too is like say I make a little gain on BNB, I buy it cheap and I make a little gains on it, then I'll just swap it out for another token and keep it safe like USD. But you can go ahead and put that into the cash and earn money on that, that little gain you made on the BNB. You know what I'm saying?
exactly, man. And I'm glad you brought that up. This is, a safe alternative to those tokens, right? And then with those, you
Yep.
have to be a little bit more concerned about bank runs, and even those
Right.
holding peg as we see recently. However, with what
Yep.
we have going here, that's not, you don't need to worry about that, because the stack token and those tokenomics continuously add liquidity to
Yep.
make sure that our cash token stays stable. Ricky
Exactly.
O, board member, says the thing I love about Cachet and Cashbox is the steady passive income. You know what, Ricky
Yep.
O? I love that, man. I love that because that's just clean, right? Just steady passive income. Passive. Again, I talked about some family members of mine who had to kind of work hard to just get any income. But
Mm-hmm.
this is just passive, right? You put your funds in, and you get your cash in your stack, and you can make steady passive income. But yeah,
Right.
Cash and Cashbox specifically lets you do that with a 1-to-1 USD value. Love that, Ricky. Yo, great comment. All right. And we're doing pretty good on time. So, the next thing we want to kind of talk about, and then feel free to pop in and add where you want with this.
Okay.
But now we're getting more into the DeFi side of things, and with our Cashbox smart contract. So with our Cashbox smart contract, one thing you guys need to know: this is essentially just like a CD at a bank. So I just recently heard of someone, they took all their funds out of their 401k when they stopped working, and they rolled it over into a CD at a bank, at their bank. And
Yep.
if you go to a bank, one of the safest ways to make the most gains is to basically lock your funds over time and get more when you get it out after that time
Mhm.
elapses. So with Cashbox, we've created a DeFi smart contract, like Ricky O says, lets you earn steady passive income at a consistent yield. It's not just a consistent yield, at a high yield.
Yep.
So it's a low risk, fixed yield passive reward platform.
Yep.
You'll be able to earn 0.5% per day for up to 200% of whatever amount you have bonded within our Cashbox smart contract. So you guys could do the math. Some of you guys have a little money, some of you guys have a lot of money. How good
Mhm.
would it be to earn 0.5% on your money that's just sitting in an account somewhere? Well, with Cashbox, it allows you to earn 0.5% per day on your deposits.
Yep.
That's consistent, that passive fixed yields. That's awesome.
Right.
Um,
And then you can
also,
turn around, put that into the
look,
cachet, what you
mhm,
earn, if you wanted to, and make even more on it.
I love that, man. See, got strategy.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Now you heard. Now going back, now this is how it kind of works together. Just like it'd be harder to do this in a traditional bank, but with us and in DeFi, like Vin said, I can take some cash out of this cash box thing where I'm earning
Yep.
0.5% per day, and I can move that to Cachet where it's like my checking account, and I can just have it
Yep.
there and I can get it when I want
Yep.
it. That's the whole point
Yeah.
of it. Great point, Vin.
Yeah. You can't go to the
But
bank, you're locked in a CD and like say, oh, I earned this much in 30 days. I want to take that out. Nah, that's not how it happens.
that's not how it happens. Right. And you know what, man? And we'll talk more about Cashbox, but another thing is, you know, at a bank with a bond, you have to wait. Like you can't
Yep.
if you withdraw those funds early, there's a major, major, major penalty.
Oof. Oh
With
yeah.
us, what's awesome about Cashbox, it's withdrawable anytime. So you start
Yep.
earning, basically your 200%, it comes in small increments
Yep.
immediately. So the moment you deposit it, you start, you have rewards that you can receive. And one thing I like, kind of Ricky O's point, is that that's true passive income because you can always have cash to touch.
Yep.
That is important, so great points. So what happens? A user, you can mint your cash token, so you basically can create new cash tokens, and you'll burn them into the cash box. And then that cash box, you will forfeit that. So just like a CD, you don't get to touch that. However, what's significant about ours, as just said, you'll be able to earn, small increments of your 200%
Yep.
immediately amongst when you deposit it in the contract. So that's awesome. Now one thing about Cashbox which makes us a little different is, and Vin spoke about a couple other projects in the space that have CD contracts. And we went through a span in DeFi where CD contracts were the end all be all. And a lot of people, have like our Cashbox contract is their entire project, and we've seen them do phenomenal at times. And I
Yep.
think Vin mentioned Drip, which a lot of people were able to come into DeFi through a project like that. Well, our cash box is similar. However, it is a little bit different. But
Yep.
it's the same project and it's just a part of our ecosystem, which is phenomenal.
Yep. But you
But
had to be on a good team. You had to be in early. You had to hope that you got airdrops, and you had to hope that the price stayed up. Whereas cash, it's pegged. So little things that you don't have to worry about.
great point. I'm glad you said that, man, because on ours you can choose your team. So if you don't like your team, you can move, right?
Yep.
And you don't necessarily have to be in early. The gamma squeeze is going to happen on a stack token, whether you like it or not, and we're
Yep.
going to have more liquidity over time. So what we are, what Stack Cash is we're an evolved version of these contracts that you guys, some of you guys in DeFi are already familiar with. So that's just phenomenal.
Yep.
So with the cash box, what we do is we have a 5% fee on all bonds into the cash box. Now, with some CD contracts, there's been a 10% fee, and with some CD contracts, there's been no fee. With us, we kind of found a happy medium with 5%. And while other projects might say, "Hey, we're just adding on to liquidity," which is fine, and some say, "Hey,
Mhm.
we're paying a dev wallet or paying for marketing and all this other stuff." What we're doing is we're using 100% of those fees to go and feed the ecosystem.
Yep.
So I'm not going to go through it, but it's at 5%. It basically breaks down where we'll talk about this in a moment. We have our own whale for Cashbox for sustainability. We have a percentage going to Mega Cash, and Vin just brought up teams. We have 1% of all bonds into the cash box to that CD contract. 1% of that goes to feed your team stack treasury, right? So you're going to be earning over there, whether you like it or not. Also, you'll be able to earn, everybody who's in Cashbox essentially will be able to earn Cashbox airdrops, and that's through who everybody on your team, once they mint or once they bond into Cashbox, you will 1% of that feeds that team Cashbox. So also, we have stack liquidity. Remember, I said that we're feeding each other, right? It's like the
Yep.
snake eating its tail. It's circular. So we continuously go back to feed the stack liquidity to build our floor, our foundation.
Yep.
Also, we have the sweep stack rewards, which is adding a daily value, which we'll talk about that in the future. But it's adding a daily value here. We have that as well, and we last but not least, we have the regulator, which is essentially built to create sustainability for the cash token as a whole. Going back to Ricky
Yep.
O's last question about sustainability, we talked mega cash. Well, we will talk mega cash, and I think the last couple of times we talked about the regulator, which the regulator is a protocol-owned treasury that's meant to stabilize the cash token and make sure that that token stays with enough liquidity and enough collateral to be able to pay at a one-to-one with USD. So that's some quick details on that, and I'm gonna move a little bit faster. So now going into depth, one thing now, maybe I need to slow down and take some time with this. So once a person, just say you and I get into Cashbox, what we call that is you're boxing your cash. So you're
Hmm.
boxing it up. If you've ever shipped anything out through Amazon, other companies, you got to
Yeah.
get that boxed up, right? And you got to get it taped down. Well, in here you're boxing your cash up. And the next phase, once again, as your rewards start coming, you'll be able to unbox those cash rewards, and that's basically meaning you'll be able to withdraw your cash rewards.
Yep.
So unboxing essentially is the process where you receive your cash gains off your 200%.
Yep.
The one thing that's significant about this, and this is what makes us a lot different, is you have to withdraw in some ways, and there's multiple ways you can withdraw, but there's not 100% compound option on Cashbox. So in some projects, what you'll see, and this is a safety thing, you'll see people compound, withdraw,
Yep.
deposit, and compound again. While that's
Yep.
great, and while we love people to be able to build their gains, that's what we're here for. At the same time, when you unbox in our project in Stack Cash on the cash box, you can only compound up to 50%. So essentially on a sliding scale, you have an option to withdraw either half or up to 100% of the cash that you've earned through Cashbox. What do you think about that, man?
I think that's great because I mean, you're gonna have two sides of it. Obviously, some people ain't gonna love it that much. Some people are gonna love it because hey, we're looking out for for your investments and sustainability is what we're talking about. So I love this aspect of it. Looking out for the community. Whereas other projects, where I mean, I've talked about this with other people in the DeFi space, where they should have had a tax on certain things, or they should have done something like this. So no, I like this. I love it.
Sustainability is key. And to Vince's
Yes.
point,
Yes.
we've seen projects come and go just because everybody wants to offer the bells and whistles at the beginning, right? But over
Mhm.
time, you know, people want to get more and more. It's just the nature of man. We want more,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Um, but Cashbox is kind of keeping that in check, whereas you can still earn more, but at a reasonable rate, and we think of an extremely fair rate. So great point there, man.
Yep.
So
Yeah, because
so
other projects, they can go what 3, 4, 6 months or something. Then now you're looking, there's trouble, and now they're running around with their heads cut off, trying to figure out how to make it stable again. So we're trying to take care of this from the get go and look out for everybody's investment.
great points, man. And then some people
Yep.
just, we don't want to burn projects. That's what I
Right.
call it. Oh, it's a pump. You sell, you got a limited amount of time, and then it's just over with, right? It's
Yep.
like, what do I do
Yeah.
now, right? It's always
Right.
the next, and then that's
Yep.
how we've gotten, some people went down a path of, from 1 month to 1 week to even 1 day projects.
Yep.
That's not what we're trying to build here. We're trying to build something long term. And with
Right.
Cashbox and unboxing, we allow this to be where we're creating this to be long term.
Right. Right.
Um, so with the up to max of 50% compounding, it goes to feed the protocol. I'm not gonna go through all that, but cash liquidity, stack liquidity, super blue chips, which we'll talk about CBC, and also the mega cash. So again, all fees are going directly to feed the platform, nothing else.
Yep.
Now, what makes us very special and with other city contracts, and we appreciate them because we've learned and we've evolved the version of a city contract that we have here. Once you withdraw or unbox your cash rewards, you have three options. And again, helping the protocol with all
Hmm.
these options. There's a fee out, right? So the first option is you can get your cash directly to your wallet. So that's obviously what we get into Cashbox for. Is I want to make some more cash. Great.
Yep.
So you can withdraw that cash to your wallet. That's a 5% fee. The next, and I'll skip the middle, but the third is you can withdraw from the cash box with your cash rewards. You can withdraw that directly into stack tokens, right? So, and that is, and for that, it's just a regular 10% fee that Stack just has that on to feed the protocol. But you can have more Stack tokens. Remember, Stack token is going to have a gamma squeeze,
Hmm.
meaning it's going to be less and less. It's going to be harder to get. So basically, if you sell your Stack, it's going to be more expensive for you to get the same amount of Stack that you just sold. So
Yep.
Stack is going to grow over time. So that's significant because our project is feeding itself, and it allows you to be in the other aspect of the project that this is more long term. This is your store value token.
Yep.
So that's an option. Thank you to the board. We voted on that to get that added, but that's just an added feature to basically make it better for all of us users.
Yep.
And the third option that you'll have once you withdraw or unbox your cash is to enter cash blue chips. Now, this is significant because other projects want to say, hey, our token is the only token in the world. Don't use any other token. Forget Bitcoin, forget that. Don't use that. Use our token. Yeah, we want you. We want to prove to you over time that the stack token is going to be worth it. And you'll see it as the liquidity goes up and as the price goes up. However, we also understand that in all of crypto and all of DeFi and even all of the traditional finance, one thing that's significant is being able to diversify. So with cash blue chips, and I'll explain this in our next All About Stack Cash blue chips allows you to earn direct blue chip tokens, for example, Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, directly in your wallet through one of our smart contracts. The only way, and this is significant, now that typically in DeFi and crypto, that's called farming, right? So you can just go and farm and earn the tokens that you want. And in farming, you can have people come in with a whole lot of money, or a whale or a shark come in with a lot of money,
Yep.
and they can basically earn a lot of these tokens on their own and then get out when they want, right? However, one thing that we made this exclusive to Cashbox users. So we want you to come and be with us for a while. And by
Yep.
doing that, you have an opportunity and a chance to earn these direct blue chip tokens from basically the Cashbox deposit that you've already made. So going back, your cash box deposit can work in multiple different ways and help feed, and diversify your portfolio in through just one contract, simply put.
Yep.
So that's the third way. And what there'll be a sliding scale for you to choose. Just say you want, all cash one week, or all CBC, or all stack, what have you. Like Vin said earlier, everybody has their own kind of ideals of what they want to do and what works best for them. That's what
Yep.
we want you to do. Do what works best for you. Go ahead, Vin. I'm sorry I'm talking so much. Go ahead, Vin.
No, no, it's just like you were talking about. It's easy. It's like one click right on our protocol here, so you don't have to go through all these doors and whatever you got to go do and to get to this point and to go farming. Like, so it's just easy as one click. You make the choice, and there you go. It's done.
That's it. That's it. So really quick,
Less.
I'm gonna go through this a little bit faster. With Cashbox, you have 4 days to be able to come back. Now, me personally, I'm going to be in Cashbox probably multiple cash and Cashbox probably multiple times a day. And I know some people just want to kind of set it and forget it. Well, with Cashbox, you have 4 days. So, the main key to the protocol and to keep the protocol going is participation. So, coming back every 4 days, we think is fair. So, after 4 days, your rewards stop accumulating. You don't lose your deposit. However, it just stops accumulating or pauses accumulating. So, you want to make sure that you come back and stay active with Cashbox.
Yep.
And also, Cashbox, what it does as a project, as a specific contract within our project, it hardens the Stack Cash ecosystem. So again, we talked about Stack liquidity and cash liquidity. It's basically creating a larger floor for us to be able to grow over time. There's three participants in Cashbox, and I'll move on from this. There's three participants. You have the users, who's you and I. You have our own Cashbox that we want to earn on. Then again, going back last AMA, we talked about teams, right? So each team
Hmm.
has their own cash box, which pays you like a salary. So it's like once a month, you've
Yep.
got your own cash box, you've been earning, doing whatever you want to do with it. And then you have additional like salary gains coming in from your team. So each team has a cash box. And I think one of the biggest things that's going to make Cashbox, or that makes Cashbox more sustainable than most, is that we have what's called a mega cash, or a mega cash with Cashbox.
Yeah.
So I'll end this to be the last thing I go through, but I do want to talk about this because this is important. So going back, we have the regulator, right? Who is a protocol treasury which continuously pays the Cashbox rewards. So I know Ricky O asked about sustainability. How does it stay stable? The regulator assures that things stay stable through the stack token. That's one part of it. We've even added an additional layer on top of that. We've added the mega cash, which, just like we have our own treasuries that are whales in the contract, right? That serve all of us, the best. It serves all of us basically.
Yep.
um, we have the mega cash, which serves the cash box um, smart contract into itself. So it's the mega whale of the cash box contract. And the one thing that's great about it, not only did you guys see some of the fees that's going to continuously feed it, but it also feeds itself and it pays us users, right? So it's basically the mega whale that it's a protocol, it's a part of the protocol, it can't dump on you, and it only builds and adds to you and pays off your debt. So it pays off cash. So we don't have to worry too much about the protocol treasury having too much weight on its shoulders. So on every buy of cash, mint of cash box, and every compounded cash box, 1.25% of everybody's compound, the teams, the users, all of that comes directly to the mega cash. And the mega cash has daily rewards, just like it's a regular market participant. So 30% of whatever those rewards are from this mega whale every day goes to pay all of us. So you got a cash box, I got a cash box. The mega cash is the largest by far, is always can be the largest participant in Cashbox, is paying us. That's what pays us first. Then we look to the regulator and some other things. Also, with those daily fees that it generates as a participant, it feeds, again, you guys gonna hear this often, cash liquidity, cash
Yep.
liquidity, stack liquidity. So it's building stack every day. Not only just that, we want to win some too, right? So it's also feeding our sweep stack pool. So it's going to be keep feeding that pool. If you want to get more, gains daily, that's another way. And it also feeds our CBC super pool, which is another well, which we'll talk about at a future time. But the last part of the mega cache that makes it phenomenal is that it's a snowball going downhill. If you guys ever seen a snowball start at the top of a hill, right? Or an
Mm.
avalanche start, that's what the mega cache is. It's an avalanche. It's an
Yep.
avalanche that pays you and I
Yep.
safely. But with 50% of whatever's in the mega cache every day, it's compounded back to grow itself, to continuously grow. What you guys see, which is common, across the board. If you look at our protocol treasuries, they do a similar function. So the mega cache is really what makes us with the cash box extremely special. And we talked about sustainability. This is the added portion that is really like our special sauce, right? This makes
Yeah.
us sustainable. Now, some other projects have, you know, a semblance of this kind of mechanism. However, it's like for a dev wallet or it's for a dev team or something like that. We're transparent, we're open, we are you, right? We are all about the community and all about building. This mega cache is built for us. It's not made to make any team leader rich or anything like that. This is only made to build the protocol and pay all of us off simultaneously.
That's right.
All right.
And this
Did you have
snowball gets
anything to
bigger.
add, man?
There's no bottom of the hill on this avalanche. It just keeps snowballing.
Oh, I like that, man. There's no bottom of the hill. I love that. I love that. Yeah, that's a great
Oh,
point. There's
yep.
no bottom of
Yep.
the hill, and we're all. And what's funny about it, we're all just a part of the snowball.
That's right.
The
Yep.
larger that avalanche builds, the more we're taking out of there. We can able
That's
to
right.
make our
That's
own
right.
gains. So
Yep. And that's part of the conversation you have with people too is utilities. Well, here you go. That's a utility right there. You get that a
exactly,
lot. So much going
exactly.
on in here, and that brings you back to at the beginning when you asked me about it and what I've been in and everything. And like after I took a look at this, and I was like, wow, this is going to be crazy. I want to be part of this. So love it.
Man, I hear you rubbing them hands too.
Yeah, I
You
did.
know
I
what
was
I'm
going
saying?
to clap that up.
Stack that up. You already know. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh shoot.
Now, another one of our board members, Ricky O, has a very, very good comment. And I think this is, for some people in traditional finance and, they have their, shirts buttoned to the top and they have the tie tight. They need to hear it this way. And I appreciate Ricky O for saying this. Cashbox, the CD contract within the Stack Cash ecosystem, ensures that everybody has the opportunity to take income while building your principal. Thank you for saying that, Ricky O. That's
Good point.
extremely clear. And I think that's significant. You can take some daily gains, weekly gains, whatever you like, while also continuously to build your principal. That is
Yep.
significant. And effectively increasing your weekly income. I've heard others in projects talk about, I want to get a salary, like I want to retire, I want to do this, I want to do that. This cash box, and not just that, the Stack ecosystem as a whole is built for regular users to be able to, like Ricky O said, build on your principal
Mm-hmm.
and increase your weekly income similar to a job, right? So you don't have to go clock in and none of all you have to do is log into your phone, log into your computer, and you can build your principal and take income. Thank
Yep.
you for saying that, Ricky. That is a great point.
Awesome.
Very good. All right, so I got a little bit more, and I'm gonna let you guys go. I appreciate you guys for joining us for our third AMA. It's always a good time, and I love talking about this stuff. And sometimes I apologize for going over time, but I don't, because I love talking about this stuff. As it's going to change our lives, and you guys are at the cutting edge at the very beginning of something that's going to be great for the entire, not just DeFi space, not just crypto space, but for the world and for economic systems. So, I hope that sinks in of how important and how significant a project like this is. But I got two pieces of alpha that I want to give you guys before we part. Let me make sure my screen is correct. Okay. Well, it's not correct, so we'll just go with it. So the first part is everybody's like, okay, when's this? When's this? So right now, if you don't know, we have our basically our early adopter session, our pre-sale going on right now. So HBoard entities, those holders essentially that's the top entity you can have. Those holders get a, up to 250% of their deposits for being an early adopter. Well, we've heard around, and it's the minimum on that is 10K. Well, we've heard from the community. We've listened to what others have said that they would like to see in the project. And remember, Stack Cash is built on what us, the people, want to see. Right? We're for DeFi users, by DeFi users, and people have said, "Hey, we want something else that's a little bit more affordable. That's a little bit out of my price range." Okay, great. So what we've done, and thank you to the committee, and thank you to the Stack Cash board for voting on this and bringing this to life. So over the course of the next week, if you would, first off, hit the like on this video, and also make sure you added us on YouTube, added us on all social media, Discord, Twitter, and Telegram. But come be a part of our Discord, come be a part of our Telegram and our Twitter, and you'll be, the first to hear about this. But we showed in the last AMA what our website kind of looks like. Well, we're at the point where our website is pretty much complete, and we've also added an addition to our early adopter phase because we want you guys to be owners. So, as an HBoard entity, let's talk about that first at the top in just a few minutes, and I'll let you guys go. At the top, the HBoard entity holders get a permanent status, so they get a permanent ownership in the platform. We've talked about entities, but they get that, and they also get 250% of their deposit. Well, we have other layers as levels as well that we've just created. So there's also a $5,000 minimum level where you can get a board entity, which is also permanent. You'll be able to earn in perpetuity forever. Um, you'll be able to basically have ownership in Stack Cash, and you'll also be able to get a percentage of your deposit back for being an early adopter. We while everybody have a chance to earn in the project, we also want to give people an opportunity to be an early adopter, right? So we're opening the doors to everyone. So that's one level. Under that, we have another level at $2,500 where you can come in and you get another type of entity, and you'll also be able to earn certain rewards with that as well. And then last but not least, you know, a range that we've heard that, hey, this is a range that we want to be in. We want something a little more affordable. We also have a range where we can have $1,000 for early adopters. So we've expanded, and this is alpha, guys. We've expanded the opportunity for those to be owners early in our project. And you'll be able to get a committee NTT. Not only just that, you'll be able to get certain credit in Cashbox and CBC as well. So starting out the gate, you'll have an advantage, not just because everybody has to buy their stack at our fair launch. So that's across the board. But you'll be able to get a head start on the cash side, and you'll be able to get ownership in Stack Cash. What do you think about that, Vin?
That's awesome, and don't forget, you become part of our team. You get to sit down at that table. Your voice can be heard. You make that vote. That's another great thing about it.
Great point, Van. I love that. Bringing up because we're a DAO. Let me say that as well. Like I talked about the financial gains,
Yep.
but we're also a DAO. So you get to vote and you get a higher seat at the table by being an early adopter, and it only takes $1,000. We'll have that, and we'll have the website coming out this week. So that is some alpha.
Yep.
So you'll be able to see the website, browse around, but you'll also be able to participate and get some ownership. So no excuses. You got an opportunity. You don't have to wait on the next Pepe or anything like that. You have an opportunity to, right now to be a part of a project at the ground floor and be an owner in the project and have a say in the project and still make gains in the project. I can't say it better than that.
That's right. And it feels good to listening to the community, and then bringing this out for them, giving them this opportunity. It's just great. That's what we are. That's who we are.
Exactly, Vin. This is for DeFi users, by DeFi users.
Yep.
It's just not even just that. It's for regular people, by regular people.
That's right.
So
Yep.
And shout out to Peachy. Peachy stacking that up right now, clapping that up. Yes, sir. Yeah, so that is alpha. So for at a again at a 5,000 level, first off, let me go back. We have the 10K level, which you'll get the most gains from. But
Right.
at the 10K level, we also have a 5K now. We have a 2,500 level, and a lot of people are talking about $1,000 level to come be a part of it.
Yep.
One thing about all these NTT holders and all these different ownership levels is that none of us will have stack to start. We will still have to, everyone has to buy stack on their own during this stack distribution event. So I just want to make that clear that there's no cheap stack or no free stack for anybody, no developers, no team, no nothing.
Yep.
Everybody has to pay for stack. So we are having a fair launch, but we want you all to come and participate and be a part of us and come and be an ownership and have a say in a project that you can have a hand in building. All right, Vin. I was about.
Yeah.
All right, Vin. Will you have
Good
anything
stuff.
else for us, man?
Nah, that's awesome. I think we covered a lot of the good aspects of cash, and we're going to be covering some other stuff in the next AMA. So, absolutely, it was awesome. Great being here. Great talking about this project. I get excited about it every time. I really do.
Thanks for joining me, Vin. And as always, guys, please come check us out in the Telegram and the Discord. That's where you're gonna be up to date.
Yep.
And also, we do host VCs during the week, so we do voice chats. We make it a point to be for the people and of the people, right?
Yep.
So we're available to you guys. So come and check us out. And also, as always, make sure you participate and add and ask questions as you have them. So. We'll let you enjoy your Saturday. Thank you for joining us for the third Stack Cash AMA. Again, if you have questions, please ask anybody. We'll be able to help you. Anybody on the team will be able to help you. And we just, enjoy you guys and thank you guys for joining us. Stagnation.
Stack love.